This episode of the Gamerheads Podcast is brought to you by Seven Bridges Premium Gourmet Yum Yum Sauce. Enhance every bite with our savory blends of flavors, perfect for meats, vegetables, and crispy treats. Whether you're dipping, drizzling, marinating, grilling, roasting, or snacking, Seven Bridges Yum Yum Sauce takes your culinary experience to the next level. Get yours today and make every meal a gourmet delight.
Hi, I'm Celia Schilling from Yacht Club Games.
Hey, this is James from Megacat Studios.
Hey, this is Matt, a.k.a. Stormageddon from Reignite, Screen Snark, and the Fun and Games podcast.
This is Stephanie from the Boss Rush podcast and the Boss Rush Network.
Hey, this is Mark and Keon from Bunte Avond.
Hey, this is Sebastian with the ProNerdReport.com and the Single Player Experience podcast.
Hi, this is Chris.
Mike.
And Garrett from Daylight Basement Studio.
Hey, this is Baron J67 from Level 1 Gaming.
Hey, this is Todd Mitchell from Code Right Play.
Salutations, this is Mike Carroll from Stroll Art.
Hey, this is Jeff Moonen from Fun and Games Podcast.
What's good, y'all? This is Adam from Respawn Aim Fire.
Hey, this is Patrick from the Backlog Odyssey.
Hey, this is Rune from Runic Codes.
Hi, this is Andrew from Spalato Bros.
Hi everyone, Jill Grote here from the Indie Informer.
Hello, this is the Crypt Master, and you're listening to Roger You're listening to Roger on the Gamerheads Podcast.
And welcome to another episode of the Gamerheads Podcast. My name is Roger. Along with me are my good friends and co-hosts. Coming back is our CEO and president, Phil. Welcome back to the show.
It has been a long journey of mine, and I didn't get us any new followers.
Yeah. Well, nice try, though.
I had a flag on my car.
Was it a Gamerheads flag or just a flag?
Yeah, it was Gamerheads flag, for the sake of the story.
Okay. And also welcome my good friend and co-host, Mike. Welcome back.
Hokum.
Mike is, you caught something on your vacation, and not a fish. You caught a cold.
Yes,
At least it was just a cold.
That's all I got.
An above the pants cold, not a below the pants cold.
So I'm not my normal chipper self right now. You're getting a whole different Mike today. You're getting a pissed off Mike. I'm just going to complain about everything.
Wow.
Mike.
Wow. Well, I'm looking forward to this episode.
No, you're not.
No, I'm not. You're right.
Get off my podcast.
And welcome to our patrons, Matt, Jill, and Sarah. Thank you so much for supporting the Gamerheads Podcast. And if you'd like to support the Gamerheads Podcast, you can as well for as low as $3 a month. You can help support our independent games journalism. Just go out to patreon.com/gamerheadspodcast, and you can select the tier that best fits your budget. And if you do go a little bit higher to the $5 tier, Phil here will write you a letter.
Just practice writing.
Yeah.
I did. I wrote Cajun Rice-A-Roni.
Cajun Rice-A-Roni, yeah. I don't know if it's called Cajun Rice-A-Roni, but it's like something like that.
Well, now I'm never going to be able to find it if that's not what
Southern
it's actually called.
I don't know. It's something like that. It's very good.
Is it the Rice-A-Roni people, or is it made by Xantanas?
Oh, no, Xantanas. You're right.
Oh, you son of a bitch. You misled me.
I did. I'm so sorry.
Wait,
so,
I've had that stuff.
The magician girl from DC has a rice?
Yes.
No, but she's got a really good series going right now that's Black Label. Neither here nor there.
Oh.
They also just relaunched Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles with issue 1, and it was pretty good.
I
Raphael's
saw that.
in prison.
I saw that. Yep. Yeah. They're grown up.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Anyway, welcome to the show. Also, hey, speaking of yummy food, Seven Bridges Yum Yum Sauce. That stuff is very good.
It's too good. I ran out.
It's too good. I ran out too.
I'll grab you guys a case tomorrow.
Okay. And a case? Did you say a case? Wait, what?
There's 6 bottles in a case. I'll split it 3, or I'll split it 2 ways.
I will gladly pay you Tuesday for a Yum Yum Sauce today. The thing is, only old gamers will understand that reference.
Yeah, that's right. That's right.
I think they're called old heads these days.
Yeah, that's right.
I mean, we're called
but it's
old
very
heads.
good. Yeah, that's very good stuff. So yeah, I'm excited to have some more Yum Yum Sauce.
If you're in the Minneapolis, St. Paul, Twin Cities area, you can now find it at Von Hansen's meat markets as well.
Oh,
wow.
Nice.
Wow. I also have a link in the show notes, but they can DM you, right? On Twitter.
DM me, skip Amazon. I'll save you money.
Yeah. So yeah, check it out. Seven Bridges Yum Yum Sauce. It is very good. It is. I am not joking when I say this. It is probably my favorite Yum Yum. Not probably. It is my favorite Yum Yum sauce. And I've had a lot of the Yum Yum sauces.
And it's good on everything. Like I haven't.
It is really good.
Actually, I'll take this back. The only thing I put it on that's not good on are those like Keebler fudge stripes.
Oh, Jesus, Mike.
So
I thought you were going to go with rice cakes.
Did you try it on Captain Crunch yet, though?
Crunch berries.
The Crunch berries.
Yeah, same result.
Goes good with milk.
Yeah, I didn't have any milk, so I used Yum Yum sauce.
Yeah, I was going to say, you don't... But
I ran out of toothpaste the other day.
So you use Yum Yum sauce.
I gotta go, chef. Yuck.
Oh man, yeah. So that's Seven Bridges Yum Yum sauce. Go check it out. We do not endorse it using it as toothpaste, though. That is not.
Or putting it on crunch berries.
Every fiber of my being hurts right now just hearing that.
I had an ear infection the other day, and
cleared it right up.
There we go.
Little dabble, do you?
That's right.
Oh, we should have like a disclaimer. This product does not.
This product does not cure male pattern baldness.
Yeah,
it's intended to go in your mouth, not your ear.
Yeah, that's right. That's right. Oh, anyway, I don't know how to transition out of that because that was very
building
funny
a computer and I used it as thermal paste. I'm sorry.
Well,
the NyQuil is kicking in, man. The NyQuil is kicking. Actually, I ran out of NyQuil, so
I drank some Yum Yum sauce.
Have a Yum Yum sauce coated throat.
Gosh.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh. Okay, so on to some more somber news. So last week, I should say. To surprise everybody, including the employees there, GameStop shut down Game Informer in a really, I'm just going to say it in a really fucking shitty way.
Well, of course, yeah, because it's the GameStop MO.
But they'll buy your graded baseball cards.
Yeah. So there was just a message on their Twitter that said the final, I think something like final level or something like that. And it was just, I can't even read it now because the other shitty thing that they did was they just shut down the fucking Twitter as well.
As well as the entire website.
And as well as the entire website. That is fucking insane.
And to make matters worse, they were like almost done with their latest issue.
Yeah. I think I saw that they're like 70% down with the latest issue.
Like that's
and they just posted reviews like earlier that day.
Yeah.
And all of it's gone.
Like
and
when at my old job, when our corporate office closed down our office, we were given probably I think about a 3-month notice.
Yeah.
So if GameStop had done the same thing, it would suck, but it wouldn't hit as hard. Give everybody time to find new jobs and stuff, but this was a horrible, horrible way to handle things.
Well, what's even more fucked up, and not to use that word, but I do often, is that like they don't even have like an office that like the guys came walking into. Everybody's still working from at home at GI.
Yeah.
And so like I'm sure everybody either got a phone call or an email. It was just like, hey, by the way, everybody's done. Like there were no meetings that were had in front of other people. There was nothing like that.
It was cold. It was heartless.
Uh-huh.
It wasn't. That sounds like that's like their new slogan now. It's cold. It's heartless. It's GameStop.
Yeah, in 33 years, and to me, I mean, I want to talk a little bit about the impact that Game Informer has had, but to me, what worries me the most about that is like something is established as Game Informer for 33 years. For it to shut down like that, like what is sacred in this industry? Right. Like what is safe in this industry? Nothing. And I don't think anything is. No. I also think, I think it's the writing on the wall that GameStop is going to be within the next year. They'll be gone.
Yeah, I've got a gift card. I got to get rid of it.
Yeah. So, So I just want to talk a little bit about the impact Game Informer has had. So, first of all, talking about like the legacy and influence, the fact that it's been around for 33 years. Phil, you were part of that. You knew a lot of people that worked there. You were in some of the issues, in fact. Can you talk a little bit about, because you worked at Funko, right? Funko Land too, right?
I did.
Can you talk a little bit about the beginnings of Game Informer and just some of your memories as well?
I may get a little emotional here, and that's, in my old age, I've come to terms with the fact that I'm kind of an emotional human being, and I don't hide it as well as I used to. Full disclosure, listeners, Andrew Reiner is one of my best friends in the entire world. I've known him since 1995, I would like to say, so we're coming up rapidly approaching 30 years. I was the best man at his wedding. I've been in the magazine numerous times. I've sat down with him as well as other editors, including Matt Helgeson, Matt Miller, and others, helping write reviews, helping play games. I shared the Funko Land warehouse was connected to the Game Informer building, obviously, when it was owned by Sunrise Publications, which was owned by David Pomager, who started Game Informer, or started Funko Land out of his garage in Eden Prairie, Minnesota. And I worked there back when GameStop / Funko Land was 100 stores. And as I'm sure you've caught on throughout the course of this show, I'm a smoker, and we shared our break room with Game Informer as well. Man, now I think about Paul Anderson and going to Paul Anderson's funeral and like just hanging out with Paul as well. And Arthur being in the office, just the dog that was residentially there, who I believe was Matt Storms, if I remember correctly. I mean, I go way back with Game Informer. And just them putting in 72-hour work weeks to try to make deadlines. People sleeping in the office. There were couches in there for people to sleep on and try to get things done at crunch time. Like, the men and women that have worked for that magazine absolutely busted their ass to make it as big as it was, and to create what it is, as I would venture to say, probably the premier video game journalism magazine / website of the entire world, even, because they covered everything. They had somebody to cover every genre of games, and they were a very well-informed group of people. When I was there, I mean, it wasn't a tight ship, but it was a tight enough ship. But just to see it come down to this, it's just a kick in the face of everybody that spent any time there. Even your people such as Justin Leeper, who was there for a small handful of years. It's fucked up is what it is. But I mean, they were all a family together, at least from the times that I was heavily involved there. Like, all their desks were right next to each other. Everybody would bounce everything off everybody else. Like, they all edited each other's work. There was no head editor. I mean, at the time when I first started working at Funko in 1997, it was like 8 people total. There were 6-7 editors at the time, and everybody just copy edited everybody else's stuff. Everybody got the pictures together and did all of that. But just the impact that they've had globally on how game journalism was handled in a very professional basis. And you can say what you want about games journalists. As I've stated, I've known people that have done this for a long time. They never saw a single dime off of any of their reviews, like as far as getting kicked anything. And the fact that people are willing to drag that one out there, it's always pissed me off. And like, for it to come to this point pisses me off even more, because like, there's still those people that think those things. And if that was the case, Game Informer would still be in business. Game Informer would still be going strong, because they'd be getting those kickbacks from these companies. Free t-shirt here and there? Absolutely. Copies of games here and there? Absolutely. Monetary value? Not at all. It's a shame that Game Informer is gone. Was the most professionally handled magazine that took everything with a grain of salt and did things in a very non-biased point of view. It sucks.
Yeah. I think the one thing that I think you said there that I think stands out to me is that, if you talk to anybody like that work there, they say it's like a family, and I've been collecting Game Informer for a very long time. And I was really sad that I couldn't go to their, what was it, 200 issue? Was it their 250 issue?
300th anniversary, I believe.
300
was, yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
And I wasn't able to make that. Fuck.
Yeah. Yeah. So yeah, it's had an impact on me. Like, this is one of the reasons that I wanted to start Gamerheads, is because of the influence that Game Informer has had on me. And I enjoyed listening to their podcasts. I enjoyed reading the reviews. In fact, I mean, for me, my writing and my reviews, like I would read a lot of Game Informer and think about like how they wrote the reviews, and then think about how I would not like copy. Obviously, I wouldn't copy their reviews, but just look at their styles, right? And think about their stylization, and think about how they write things, and think about how I can improve my writing as well. So it's heartbreaking. Mike, do you want to talk about the impact a Game Informer has on you and your career? Because you also, did a podcast before Gamerheads and did reviews as well.
I've been writing for gaming websites since 2001. That's when I first started, and when Game Informer, that was one of my favorite things to do. Was actually was probably the biggest selling point for me getting the pro membership from GameStop was getting that magazine. And it was always awesome when I would go in the mailbox and there it was. I grabbed that magazine, go right into the bathroom. And that's, and you can laugh because, that's where I do my good reading.
It's where reading happens.
That's where
my
good
reading happens, yeah.
But it was always just so much fun to read. I loved reading the letters, that people would write in. It just, whatever their cover game was, you knew it was going to be in-depth. And when I say in-depth, I probably mean the most in-depth article you can get on the cover game. It spanned pages upon pages.
You were getting between 8 and 16 pages off the cover game. Like, they were doing their research. They were out at the studio. They were spending time with the developers. They were spending time with creators. It wasn't just some bullshit thrown together piece like you see on a lot of websites these days. These days. Sorry, I don't mean to interject, Mike.
No, it's good. And it was, and it. Here's the thing: some game magazines, and you could say journalists, and you could say podcasts. You could tell that they were fake. Like there was an error. I'm not gonna call anything out, but especially when it came to magazines, it was like, okay, you could tell that there was not a lot of effort or care. But with Game Informer, it was always it was professionally done. There was humor in it, but like I read those things cover to cover. I actually I still have a bunch of mine.
I still have all mine.
Yeah. I still have all mine too. They're on my shelf right over here. In fact, I had to get another shelf because they didn't fit on all of the shelves.
So I've always after reading those, I've always wanted to get into games journalism, and at first I thought, well, what are my odds? I can't write for a magazine. But then, once websites started coming up, then I'm like, okay, well, now I've got a chance. I can write for that. And actually, it was kind of a pipe dream of mine to be like, all right, I'm going to get my feet wet with writing for this website. Then I'll build up a good writing resume and I'll submit it to like Game Informer to see if I can get a job, with the big leagues, so to speak. So this is, and it broke my heart when GameStop's like, no, we're doing digital only for the magazine.
Yeah.
And I actually literally, like, probably about a month ago, I was in GameStop and they had Game Informer magazines on there. I'm like, I don't care if I have to pay extra. Can you mail me the magazines? Can you send them to me? Well, you have to do it on the app. Okay. So it's like GameStop, they just didn't care anymore. They just, it doesn't matter. And that's what pisses me off the most is just like, obviously that they did it, but they did it with no advance notice. Do they realize like what that does to families? It's messed up.
Yeah. And the other thing too, that, I mean, outside of just the journalistic integrity, the fact that they did fundraisers, Extra Life, raising money for, is it Gillette, right? Isn't that the Gillette hospital up there, Phil?
Yeah.
They raised lots of money for the children's hospital, and you could tell that the people that were doing it like had fun and they enjoyed each other's company. And like, I think I'm going to start crying. I don't know why, but it's heartbreaking. And I'm so angry and so frustrated.
It's like they were not even were. They are the apex of game journalism. They did it properly. They did it professionally. They didn't give you any kind of, again, just bullshit spins on things. Like, they called things as they saw them. And I can tell you for a fact that editors that didn't and wrote with a certain amount of bias and or a slant to their reviews, they didn't last very long.
Mm-hmm.
If you couldn't hack it and your shit was all, it was faded in one direction or the other, like you were given a small handful of warnings and you were gone. Like, it was a very real thing. It was, as much as it was a family for them, it was still very cutthroat on the inside as well, because they had a certain level of integrity that they wanted to stand by. And if you didn't stand by those levels of integrity, you weren't going to last.
Yeah. And I think that leads me good into the next topic here, the state of gaming journalism. Because when you lose something like Game Informer, I mean, because of the fact that they were, like I said, they're the gold standard for what game journalism should be, right? And now what, I mean, you still have big names out there, but like, I don't know. I just think the state is just in a weird spot right now. And I wonder, and I'm a little worried, right? Like, where does this industry go next in regards to the journalistic integrity of well, and not only that of the industry, but not only that, but like, there's not as many jobs out there. Like, there's just not, like, nope. And the other thing too, and I'll just touch this and I'll let you guys talk, but the other thing is, nobody's going to want to go into this industry.
Yeah.
You have something like that, like Game Informer being shut down the way it is. Nobody's going to want to go into this industry, which makes me sad because of the fact that there are a lot of charlatans in this industry, like you were saying, Mike, right? That are not that just are not as good. And they're just not right. And I don't want that to be the norm, I guess.
Right. No. There's a lot of people that will pay freelance writers to go out and write articles about whatever, that have little to no talent, that are somehow getting published week after week after week. And yet then you've got this juggernaut like Game Informer that have got some of the best game journalists on the entire planet that just all got their feet cut out from under them. And people that have been doing it for a long time. Matt Miller has been there for he's got to have been there for 20 years at this point. He's a very talented human being. He's a very talented writer. And I mean, he's now looking for a job as well. And like, it's just frustrating.
Yeah.
He had been a backbone for a long period of time. It's fucking stupid.
Yeah. I mean, where does it go? What happens next? I don't really know, because we lost this trusted voice in the industry. I don't really know what happens next. I don't really know. I mean, my heart goes out to all those that were affected, obviously, like, because that sucks. And I don't know. I don't know. I mean, I can't imagine what they're going through right now.
Nope. Especially not those that have invested so much time into it. I mean,
yeah.
Andrew Reiner hasn't been there for 2-3 years now, and don't know how much I want to disclose here, but I can tell you that he's fucking bummed out about it. I know I threw a post out on social media, but obviously he and I have had a lot more in-depth conversations about it, because it was 26, 27 years worth of his life that like he helped curate and he helped build this thing up to being what it is, including taking over editor-in-chief once Andy McNamara, not once as though Andy McNamara had to leave, but like when Andy McNamara left, Andy Reiner took over the helm of being editor-in-chief, and then like put all that on his own shoulders to help continue to make the magazine what it was that Andy McNamara built it up to be, to continue the vision of what Game Informer's greatness is. And even though he's not there anymore, he still talks to people quite often that still work there, because again, those people were friends. They were family. A lot of those people that have been there for a long time. It's just to watch it all go away like this. I mean, the state of game journalism, it's not going to be the same. There's still going to be people like, and I mean, no offense to any of us, but like the three of us write game reviews. We're still going to do it. Do we do it to the level of Game Informer?
No,
Absolutely
not.
No.
I'm not gonna fool. I'm not gonna fool myself.
No.
I'm not as good
Not
as
at all.
those writers. Yeah.
And I mean, even I'm not going to throw any other outlets under the bus, but like some of the larger other gaming journalism outlets that are out there, like they don't do it to the level the Game Informer did either. Nobody did it. It's just a high level of professionalism that was there. And again, I cannot emphasize the unbiased enough. Like it was a very real thing, and it was something that they prided themselves on as well. They should have.
Yeah.
Well, karma's a bitch.
Yep. Hopefully.
Yeah. I mean, like I said, I would not be shocked if they close the door. But here's the if GameStop doesn't close in the next year. I didn't finish that sentence there. But I went out to their Twitter to see if they did any kind of post about like, hey, this is nothing.
Nope.
Nothing at all.
It's like it never even existed. They just tried to wipe it off the face of the earth. Like they dropped an A-bomb on the entire fucking thing. And...
I could not believe that. No. Nothing at all. At all. And then the other shitty thing was, and I kind of alluded to this early on in the conversation, but so they made a post. The Twitter made a post. It looked like it was generated from AI about, hey, goodbye. And then somebody some employee or former employee must have access to the Twitter and said, hey, we just want to have a formal goodbye from employees. And the moment that got posted
is when they pulled everything down.
They pulled everything down. They shut down the Twitter account. Thank goodness, like Matt Miller did share a very nice post. Mm-hmm. And it was very heartfelt. But man, it's just awful. And it's just, like I said, this was a gold standard. And I don't know what happens, going forward. Like I said, nobody's going to want to get into this industry anymore. And I'm really worried it's just going to become no full-time jobs. It's just going to be all contract, or not contract, but
freelance.
Freelance. So you just say positivity for sale, because that's what freelance.
Yeah.
I'm not going to say always means. There's a lot of people out there still with journalistic integrity. Some of our friends of the show.
Yep.
But that it opens the door for just people to say, hey, send me free stuff and I'll give you a good review.
Yeah.
Well, and it's a difficult transition as well, because you think of all these people with the knowledge of the video games that they have, and you would think that they could easily transition into writing for a bigger studio, but then you look at the layoffs that the bigger studios are doing as well.
I know.
Like it's a stupid, nasty, vicious circle that's going on right now within the video game world, and it's bullshit and it sucks.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, because like the crazy thing is that the talk of that before, because I had Morgan Shaver on the show last week. And we talked about Bungie. No, we talked about Humble closing. That's what we talked about. And that was before Bungie. And then Bungie closed, not closed, but they shut down 70% of their
releasing their biggest DLC for Destiny. And then they go and lay off 100 people or however many it was.
Yeah. 17% of their staff. That was insane. And then, I mean, that's not even talking about the tech industry. And then Intel, I don't know if you guys heard this, but like laid off like 15,000 people from their staff. So it just feels really weird in the industry right now. And yeah, that's the shitty thing. It's like, it's not like, oh, I lost my job. Well, thank goodness there's hundreds of other jobs available. It just, I don't know.
And especially knowing that there's nothing that anybody could have done that was employed under GameStop that would have changed anything. Like this was, it was going to happen. Hate to say it, but the writing's been on the wall for years. I'm thankful that they got what they did out of it for as long as they did. But with the way that GameStop had handled some of the layoffs and the budget cuts and things like that, and started bringing in freelancers towards the end instead of just having full-time editors, like you could see that it was coming.
Yeah.
You just hoped it wouldn't.
Yeah. So
I'm going to bring something out of retirement. We used to do this thing on my old podcast called The Finger of Shame. And we used to, when we would stream the podcast, we would call out some asshole organization or studio or something like that, and we would shame them by doing the finger of shame and just wag. But I'll do the middle finger of shame towards GameStop right now.
Yep, go fuck yourselves, GameStop.
Yep.
Yeah.
Enjoy selling Funko Pops for the
and buying graded baseball cards.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not going to go into another GameStop again.
I haven't been in one in years.
I was in one a couple weeks ago, and it is shocking how little video games they actually sell.
Yeah.
And like, what is this? Is this just a weird mashup of weird eclectic stuff that you sell here? I don't even know what is your brand? What is your identity?
I don't want to buy a My Hero Academia wallet. Like,
no, I know.
It's just become a nerd store, and part of that, in Devil's Advocate, part of that's just due to how much is digital these days, where like,
sure,
there's not as many physical collectors as there used to be because everybody's got that instant gratification. I don't have to get up and change a disc or a cartridge. Let me just go ahead and press 3 buttons.
It's a good feeling, though. I'm not gonna lie, it's a good feeling.
Yeah, but and not every town has like a mom and pop's game store for sure, but like we do here. If you live in Wisconsin and a couple cities like Eau Claire or Stevens Point or Sheboygan, we have Sheboygan. We have gaming generations, and I will say like that place you walk in, and that place is awesome. Like they do have new games. You can buy new games, but mainly they specialize in, games that you can't find anymore. And they have lots and lots and lots of retro games and lots of retro systems and
lots of like accessories and stuff, like new accessories for old systems.
Exactly. Yeah. Like I bought a Wii controller from them because mine broke. Yeah, because my kids like to play Wii, Phil. My kids like to play.
I didn't say a word. You don't gotta point out the fact that I'm making
bashing
faces.
The Wii? What are you bashing the Wii? Have you never played Target Toss Pro Bags on the Wii?
No, I play it in my backyard.
Yeah.
In the winter?
Yeah.
Oh, well, man.
Get hardy, Mike. Get hardy.
You, man. Yeah.
All right, Jeff.
But yeah, but the thing is, like, they know their identity, right? They know their brand identity, and that's what their brand is. And like, I just don't understand what GameStop's brand identity is anymore. Like, I don't think they understand what their brand identity is.
No idea what they're doing.
It's a catch-all nerd store with no games in it. Like, get rid of the GameStop and just call it Stop.
Just stop.
The leadership at GameStop is like, it's like Kramer on Seinfeld. Like, every week there's a new wacky scheme to try to make money. Like, that's. Remember when they were taking cell phones, or they were taking old
Cricket,
tech,
right? Didn't they do Cricket Wireless or something?
And they were selling NFTs. Like,
oh my god, that's right.
It's awful.
Yep.
Yeah. And then there was talks, and it actually I was on board with this idea. There was talks that they were going to make some stores into like gaming stores, like tabletop gaming stores.
Yep.
That
I heard that
you can have a
too.
back room and play tabletop. I was like, well, that might work, right? But then somebody was like, I have an idea, and they're like, that's a good idea. Get rid of it.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know. Yeah, I don't know. It's just shitty. It's whatever. I'm never shopping there again.
Yeah. Even my local GameStop. I moved to this town in 2006. They opened up a GameStop, I think, in 2008, and from 2008 till 2023, I became friends with every manager and employee there until they got rid of the most recent manager and the most recent employee. Now it's these people are. I'm not bashing people who work at GameStop, but I'm just saying, like, it pains me to say it, but I'm ready for GameStop to become a thing of the past.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And they kept a roof over my head for a large handful of years, and I'm ready for them to go away.
So, any final thoughts before we move on to games we're playing?
Nope. I think I pretty much covered the fuck you GameStop, and this is bullshit.
Yeah. All right, well then let's move into games that we're playing. That's a hard way to segue into this, but we'll try to segue into it. So, you guys are both traveling. I don't know, maybe, have you guys been playing games?
I played something new.
You did? Okay, Phil, we'll start with you then. Mike, you raised your hand too late. I'm sorry.
Mike, you can go first.
No.
That's the Seven Bridges Yum Yum Softs effect.
That's the sauce talking.
Yeah,
I hate it when the
slow.
sauce talks. I've been playing all the usuals, but then I recently have rediscovered my love, as many of millions of other people have, of the NCAA football franchise.
Oh yeah, me too.
Are you playing?
Yeah.
Do you want in on an online dynasty? I've got an online dynasty going with like 9 people.
Sure.
But you got to keep up.
Okay. How many games do you have to play a week?
We go through it's like 2 to 3 to 4 a week.
How many minutes are your quarters?
6.
Okay. Is Wisconsin taken yet?
No. There's only one person that's playing as a powerhouse, and one of my friends is playing as Notre Dame, and the rest of us are shaming him for it because everybody else is playing as like mid-level schools.
Oh, I'll take a mid-level school then. That'd be fun.
Yeah.
I'll play that.
We're 6 or 7 games into our season, week 9 or so into our season, I should say, and it's a lot of fun. This game is super polished. I haven't played a Madden game in years, but it definitely feels a lot better than a Madden game has when I most recently played a Madden game.
Me too.
And the fact that you can control all of your recruiting, your coaching staff, and all that kind of good stuff makes it even that much more enjoyable. Occasionally we'll have head-to-head matches. We've only had one so far because there's 128 college football teams. So when paths cross, it's an exciting time until bowl season comes around, and hopefully a large group of us make the bowls. I probably will not, because when I was on vacation, they simmed a handful of weeks, and I went 0-3 when I was on vacation, which is bullshit.
No. Oh, no.
But neither here nor there. Having a good time with it. I don't understand football. I suck at defense. And I can't recommend it enough if you're a fan of football.
Yeah, the presentation is really good. Mike, are you playing this?
So good.
No,
are you playing this at all? No.
I am not.
Okay. No, the presentation is fantastic. Like the fact that they have like all these instant replays, and they have a lot of aspects that make the stadiums unique. I mean, I've been playing as the Badgers, obviously, because I'm from Wisconsin, but it's really, really well polished, like you said, Phil. Like I'm absolutely loving this game. It looks so good.
Yep.
And then I do love how they cut to other games they don't show other. They just say like, oh, this is what's happening in this game.
Mm-hmm.
You know, Notre Dame is losing by 6, but blah 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 blah. And like, it's pretty cool. Like those, like I played I don't remember what the last year was before
14.
this one. 14. And those are the things I missed in that game, because that game had all that stuff. It reminds me a lot of, remember ESPN 2K5?
Absolutely.
Remember how well that game was? That's what this reminds me of.
Yep.
And I don't understand why they can't do this with a Madden game, because like you said, Phil, it feels so different than a Madden game.
Well, they just dropped a big patch today, and we've got a large group chat going with all of us that are in the league together. And somebody sent like the link to the patch that came out today, and one of the guys that plays a lot of Madden just responded, "Holy shit, they haven't done this much for Madden in 10 years." And that's just like in the patch alone.
Unbelievable. Yeah. So it's good. It's a fun game. Anything else? I know that you're traveling, so
yeah. No, I've been on the road for 8 or 9 days, 7, 8, 9 days. I don't know. I don't even know. Well, I know it's Thursday because we're recording, but outside of that, I had no idea what day it was for a large handful of days. Didn't even have cell service for 3 days, which was pretty awesome. And I recommend everybody takes time to just get away from their cell phone for 3 days.
Touch some grass, as the kids would say,
literally, or some trees, or a mountain. Like, just go out and do stuff.
Any of those things, yeah. What about you, Mike? What have you been playing?
I've been playing Legend Bowl. I got back into that.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
They patched it, so now it's playable and it's fun.
Okay.
I also discovered, and I don't know if this was old or new, but there is a profile that you can select in the settings that changes all the teams to the colors of their respective city in the world.
Oh. Okay,
then,
I didn't know that. I didn't see that before.
And then you can just go in and edit the names.
Oh,
so
that's awesome.
That's cool.
So, I I'm having some fun with that. What else? Oh, you ever see that movie, The Ring?
Yes. I mean, no.
No? Oh, it's a good one. I actually just saw it a couple weeks ago.
I know of the movie, but I've never seen it.
Well, The Ring is about a cursed VHS tape that kills. If you watch it, you die 7 days. Spoiler alert for a movie that's 20 years old. The only way to get out of the curse is if you make a copy of the tape and have somebody else watch it, then the curse transfers on to the other person.
This might be the first ever spoiler alert that nothing was spoiled for me for. This is great. Keep going.
Well, I had the same situation, although not dead. But it was with Balatro, and I gifted Balatro to my buddy Kurt for his birthday.
Nice.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
And like I streamed it on in a Discord chat, and he's like, "Oh, this is pretty cool." And I'm like, "Yeah, I need to stop being obsessed with it, so I'm gonna buy you a copy, and I'll just watch you play it." And now he's obsessed with it.
Mm.
So played some Balatro. I watched. This was adorable. I watched my son play Ghouls and Ghosts. It was the very first video game he ever played. Was Ghouls and Ghosts.
Oh, wow!
And we had it on the Wii Virtual Console.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And there were cheat codes that basically made you invincible. So he would just play the game, and he just he'd just blast through everything. It's been a long time since he played it, so I'm watching him play Ghouls and Ghosts again, knowing what's going to happen at the end, and just smiling because he doesn't remember. If you're not familiar in Ghouls and Ghosts, once you beat the game, you're not done with the game. You got to go through and beat the entire game another time. And it's one of the hardest games ever made. Mm-hmm. So I just waited. I waited, and he continued and continued. He wasn't using cheat codes this time. He was just playing and continuing. And then he finally made it to the end. And he's like, "Wait, what?" And I'm like, like, "Yep, you got to do it again, buddy." So that was.
Did he do it?
Yeah, he did it. Yeah, he went back.
Wow.
Second time. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's impressive. Kudos to him.
Yeah,
man.
yeah. He's got the drive.
Wow.
Other than that, I played a game that I am very excited to talk about, and I am going full ham on this game. And Phil, you'd appreciate this. I am playing Battle for Bikini Bottom.
It's fantastic, isn't it?
Is it good?
Is
it good?
An awesome game. The remake, the Bikini Bottom remake.
Yep.
It's on Game Pass right now too.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
It's so reminiscent of those early 2000s platformers, collectathons and stuff. And I am having a blast with it. I've made the decision that I'm going to try to get a perfect gamer score on it.
Good luck.
Hey, I'm doing good. The only thing the hardest thing is going to get all the socks.
Yep.
To me that's going to be the hardest thing. But I'll look at some walkthroughs and stuff. I'll be fine. So I think I've only got like 3 levels left, but it's a pretty meaty game. There's a lot to do in it. The only thing I don't like about it is I'm a real stickler when it comes to voice acting. And
do they not have the voices?
They have all the voices with the exception of Clancy Brown, who does the voice of Mr. Krabs.
Oh.
And Ernest Borgnine, who was Mermaid Man.
Yep.
So everybody else is the original actors, and they do a phenomenal job. They do so good. It's like watching an episode until Mr. Krabs starts talking.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and then I just skip past his dialogue. I'm like, I don't want to hear this.
Yeah.
So it's a lot of fun, and then there's just like with any other 3D platformer, there is 1 or 2 sections that make you want to punch the wall.
Mm-hmm.
For me, I don't know how far you got into the game, Phil, but for me,
I beat it.
Oh, okay. For me, it was the dream level.
Yeah.
You got to jump on these boxes as they're turning, and half of them have spikes on them and half don't. So that got on my nerves.
And then you have to fight the giant thing at the top of those boxes too, right? Or there's the small handful of things that's kind of like an arena type of a section, if I remember correctly.
Yeah. Yep.
And that's a pain in the dick too. Pain in the ass.
Yeah. Yeah, you got to go into an arena and fight a whole bunch of robots, and like those ones that create fire rings. Oh, it's just so frustrating. But I was able to get through it, so highly, highly recommend it. Even if you just know who SpongeBob is and you enjoy early 2000s platformers.
Super fun.
It's on Game Pass. Nice. Anything else?
Nope, that's it.
For myself, besides college football, I've been playing the usual Star Wars Hunters. They came out with a new season, new character now too.
Tell us about the new character.
So the new character is a Imperial droid. And apparently the story is that the Graz, who's the Wookiee in the game, ripped off this droid's arms, and so that's what he uses.
Chess.
Yep.
Yeah. So this is what he uses for weapons. The Wookiee does. He uses these big robotic arms, right? So then now this robot now is available in the game, and instead of having the arms because they're gone, they have big shields. So it's pretty cool. So their weapon is like they can put down the shield in front of them, and so if you blast at it, they just bounce off the shield. So that's pretty cool.
Does the shield wear it down, or does it just have a cooldown? Like after you've held it up for 5 seconds, then you gotta have it down for 15 or whatever.
As long as you have health, you can have the shield up.
Okay.
So if you don't have any, and I think there's like a certain amount, like if you have below the certain health, you can't put the shield up, something like that. So, so you can keep the shield up as long as you want, as long as you have enough health to do so, which is cool. That's the unique aspect of that character. And then they also do similar to what the Wookiee does. The Wookiee does this charge where it grabs and charges into them and drags them across the playing field. The robot does the same thing, kind of does this block charge with
a shield bash type of a thing.
Yeah. So yeah, they added a whole bunch of cosmetics, so many cosmetics. And then they just opened up Darth Vader's throne room, his like that. I'm a Star Wars fan, but I don't remember the name of where he has his like little
his meditation chamber or whatever. Where the big thing comes down and
yeah. And then it has like the lava around it too. You know what I'm talking about? Like the middle. So they just added that, and that was really cool. Yeah, so many cosmetics. And I think they're going to introduce. Go ahead.
I'll ask when you're
done.
Well,
I was going to say, I think they're going to introduce a new game mode as well. So last season they introduced something ball. I can't think of what it's called, but it's basically you get these balls and you have to throw them in the goals, and you have to one person has the ball. You have to take the ball and throw it into your opponent's goal, and if you score 3 goals or 5 goals, whatever, you win the game. So, but I think they're going to introduce a new game mode into this season as well.
Is there a new battle pass?
There is. Yep.
And what's the big reward at the end of this season's battle pass?
I think it's the battle pass gets you the new character.
Yep.
And I think it's a cosmetic for him. He looks like has this full out black armor. I think that's what it is.
Okay.
But yeah, one of the cool things. So there's this. I think I mentioned this before. There's a Sith assassin. So this is supposed to take place after the fall of the Empire. So the Empire characters are kind of like beat up, and so the Sith assassin. You can get a cosmetic that she has a Darth Vader suit. It's pretty cool.
Okay.
Yeah, she looks really cool. But that's a little expensive. That one is like you can't just get it in the season pass. That one you have to buy, and it's $15. Yeah. So they have quite a few of those that you can just buy. There's different. Oh, the one thing I will say, like I was so glad they did this. So there's different currency in the games. So there's real money. You can buy cosmetics with real money. And so there's certain things on the store saying, hey, you can just pay real money for these things. You can buy purple gems. You can earn purple gems in the season pass as well. But you can buy purple gems and then use those purple gems. There's certain areas in the store that you can buy cosmetic with the purple gems. And then there was these gold coins that you would get. You get 75 gold coins every day that you log in. And then you earn a crap ton of these as you play. Just like you either through your dailies or different quests that they have. You just, because each quest has its own like little path of things you can earn. And one of these was these gold coins, and the gold coins weren't really used for anything. There's maybe one thing in the store that you could buy with a gold coin. So I have like 13,000 of these gold coins because I never had any use for them. They finally opened up a whole section of the store that you can buy cosmetics with these gold coins. And I was like, thank goodness. And they're cool cosmetics. They're not just junky cosmetics. They're really cool looking cosmetics. So I was like, thank goodness that they actually incorporated these gold coins, and you don't have to spend a dime on that. You can just get these really cool cosmetics if you want. So,
out of curiosity, is the stuff that they're offering for the gold coins, is it stuff that was originally available last season with either the purple coins or the other anything else? It's all original stuff, huh?
Yeah, it's all original stuff. Yeah. I was really surprised about that too, as I was expecting it. What you just said was it was going to be like old stuff from the last season, but it's not. It's a new original costume. So each one of the characters now has a bunch of cosmetics available to them, either through the season pass or through the shop that you can buy. So, So I'm honestly really impressed with the fact that season 1 I was really impressed with. I thought, this is a good step in the right direction. But they went hard on the second season, and I was like, holy smokes, this is awesome. So. Good on them. I do think that there's still some lag issues they have to deal with. And loading times are atrocious.
Oh, well, I'm gonna refrain.
Yeah, I know it is a Switch.
I didn't say it.
Yeah, but it is.
This is going to be interesting. We're going to start talking about Switch 2 in the near future. Well, let's see what Phil has to say about that.
What is this Wii shit you're talking about, Mike?
The term, the plural of
the collective.
Yeah,
because I'm not going to be talking about it.
So that's Star Wars Hunters, and then I have a review of a game that I just reviewed. It's up on the website at gamerheadspodcast.com. And this is an interesting game. It's called Terra Alia.
Is that the game you were playing last night?
No, I'll talk about that in a little bit. So Terra Alia. An interesting thing about Terra Alia is I played this game twice. I reviewed it twice. Oh. I reviewed it as a console game on the Switch, and then it came out on the Quest as well as a VR game. So this game is a RPG game that teaches you language. So I don't know if you guys remember, this is about probably a year ago when I talked about this game originally. So it's like Harry Potter meets science fiction. And the premise is that some evil force took away the ability for your native tongue to cast spells, like that the magic is gone. But they didn't realize that if you learn another language, that you could cast spells in another language. So the whole premise is they get to learn another language.
Gotcha.
So in the console version, you're just clicking on different things, and then they would say tableau. Right. And then you had to pick what that meant so if you're learning French, you had to say, well, that means whatever, blah, blah, blah. Or baguette. Right. So you had to pick what that meant. But in the VR version, you actually have to say the word.
Cool.
And then it actually assesses how well you say the word. And then you have to say sentences as well. So I was really impressed with that. I thought that was really cool. They took away a couple things. Which is fine. Like you could in the console version, you could customize your character. But they took that away in the VR version because you don't really see your character, which I get it. Right. There's no wand. Instead, in this, you just point your finger, which is fine again. The puzzles are cooler because you actually are doing the puzzles. So you have to actually hit the buttons with the VR versus where you just kind of hover over them in the console version. So I thought that was really neat. There was a couple glitches though that I was like, really? In one of the first rooms, there's this door that's obviously you can't go through. It has like this like white line. It looks like a magical line, and you're not supposed to go through. Well, I walked through it. I was just like, what happens? And don't do that, because I ended up in a void and I had to restart, and it didn't save any of my progress.
Oh no.
He ended up.
Yeah.
Oh gosh, I was going to say you ended up speaking Latin backwards, and now your house is even more haunted.
That's right. Yeah. So that was weird, and I was like, there should have been a collision box here to stop me from going in there, but whatever, I guess. But that was interesting. The other thing too that I didn't actually say this in the console version because it didn't make me realize it until I was actually saying the sentences. It teaches you words, but it doesn't really teach you grammar, right? So when they're just having you say sentences, it tells you what the sentence is, but it doesn't really tell me like how like sentence structures are set up, why it's set up a certain way, right? So it's not really teaching you the grammar of the language. It's just teaching you how to say sentences, which is fine. It's just that I don't think you're going to get, I mean, and I didn't expect this, but you're not going to get like an in-depth, like you're not going to be fluent in any language that you speak in this game. So, in fact, what's funny, I did French both in the console version and the VR version. And I tried, because my wife has been taking Duolingo for like 5 years now. She's been doing, so she speaks French pretty well, actually. And I tried speaking French to her, and she's just like, "That's not actually right. What do you say? What do you say?"
She's like, "Fine, if you want the divorce, then fine, I'll do it."
Yeah, I was like, "Wait, that's not what I said. I was saying that
make me a sandwich."
Yeah, it said make me a sandwich. Oh, I did. Oh,
that's not.
Anyway,
that's not much better.
Yeah, that's not much better. That's why she's like,
unless she loves making sandwiches and she's really good at it.
Yeah, and she was like, "Would you like a sandwich yourself? Would you like me to make you one?" So that's Terra Alia. I give it a B+. You can read my review on gamerheadspodcast.com. Another game that I've been playing is called, I'm going to save that last one, the one that I streamed for last. Another game is called A Ranger. So A Ranger is a puzzle type game where your character interacts with things, and when they move and they shift the floor, so the floor moves along with them.
So they arrange the floor.
In some ways, some comical ways, like somebody might be on top of a ladder painting something, and then you move and the ladder goes away from them and then they fall. It's a cool puzzle game. It's a really interesting puzzle game. I heard on another podcast that the art is done by the same people that did Braid. So same artist. The art is very good. And the battles are interesting. So it's not battles. It's puzzles. So you'll have like a sword in the room, and then you have to figure out how to make that sword move to be able to hit certain things. There are parts where I'm like, I'm really stupid. I can't figure this out. What the hell? And then I realize, if you go one way, you end up on the other side. So if like I go to the left and there's no floor there anymore, I end up on the right side. So that's a lot of times you have to figure that out. And that's
like
usually
Miss Pac-Man.
They're like Miss Pac-Man, exactly. But A Ranger is very good. I'm not very far, but I'm playing it and I'm enjoying it. I would say though, like some of these puzzles are beyond me. I'm just not very smart, I guess.
Nah, I think I would get destroyed at that game.
It's hard. Games. I think like it's the spatialness of it. As it's like, I don't know why I just can't seem to figure out like, I need to move this here. It's like, you know how when you ever played those games where you had to move like certain things and you had to get like a certain item to like to like the free space or whatever. Like usually it's like cars and you had to like move these, or buildings, right? Like you had to move all those things and you get it to the free space and then you win. That's what kind of reminds me a little bit of. And I was never very good at those puzzles to begin with. So that was here. There was some, I don't know. My wife walked by and some bells rang. I don't understand what happened there. I don't understand that. That was weird. And then the last game I'll talk about is the game that I was streaming. Is Thank Goodness You're Here.
Right, thanks, Roger. I'm glad you're here too.
Yeah. So this game is I don't even know what to describe it as. I guess an adventure game.
Mm-hmm.
You have two options: jump or slap.
I thought you were going to say like play or not play.
Yeah, play or
you
not
have
play.
two options in this
Those
game.
are the two options.
Start the game or turn it off.
Turn it off.
I chose to play the game.
Yeah. So it starts off as you're this like little guy. You're like this little person who works for the mayor. The mayor sends you off on this mission to go find a job or go get a job or something. And then you leave and you're walking around these cities, and every place you go to, somebody's there is like, oh, thank goodness you're here. And then they give you a dilemma of like what's happening. And it's just weird stuff. Like there's in the beginning, there's a guy who has his hand down a sewer grate and he says, thank goodness you're here. My hand is stuck and I need you to get me something to get me unstuck. So you go to the restaurant, you find a big slab of butter, you send it, you bring it to him. And then instead of like pulling his arm out, right, because it's all slab, he pulls his arm, he pulls the whole grate out. He's like, oh, I did it. And it's like, well, you didn't need the butter for that. You could have done that without me. It is very Monty Python. Oh. Like if you like Monty Python, you'll like this. Because It is. There was a moment last night. Okay, so if you want to avoid spoilers, like jump ahead like probably a minute or so. There was a moment last night where I ran into this character who was. I walked into this grocery store and Matt Berry, who is a voice, who's an actor, but he does the voice for this character in this game. He's in like what we do in the shadows as Laszlo. He's very funny, but he's in this game, and he's like, "Get down, lad! This guy's going crazy!" And like this guy is throwing vegetables at you, and it's like a war zone. He's throwing vegetables, and the Matt Berry's character said, "I didn't say anything about your head." And all of a sudden, there's this flash. This garbage can flips up, and he sees an image of himself in the garbage can, and he has this big long head, and it's just this flashback of like, sorry, like he says to his parents, sorry, there's nothing we can do. He's just born that way, and he's just like big head, and like everywhere he goes, oh come on, you got a big head, and like he can't put his goggles on because it's too big, and his goggles break, and then he's at a movie, people are throwing popcorn at him. So get out of there. And then this girl says, like, I don't care. I love you no matter what. And the next scene, she's leaving him. She's like, I can't stay. Your head, it's just too big. And it's just like over and over and over again. He has like this mental breakdown. And it is just weird. And it's this whole scene. You're just watching this whole scene play out. And you're like, yeah, what am I playing? What is this? I would say somebody described it as a game that you don't really play. It's more of an experience. And I would say that too. It's like, you're not going to be playing. There's not much mechanics except for slapping. And there's points where you're like, oh, this one guy, he had his butt sticking out. I slapped his butt.
Roger,
he didn't like that.
That's harassment.
I know. There's another. So also, it's not a kids game. It is an adult game.
You're telling me playing slap ass isn't a kid's game?
Yeah, I know, right? There was this moment where I ran into a character who lives in a trash dispenser or trash bin. Not compactor, but what do you call those big things like you throw the trash into? One of them. Dumpster. Thank you. Oh my God, how come I not think of the word
Roger.
dumpster? Yeah, dumpster. And he lives in a dumpster, and he was like, I need my beans. So you had to find him a can of beans, and you bring it to him. And then the next scene is he's sitting on the toilet, doing his duty. And I mean, you see everything.
Whoa.
And when I say everything, you see everything.
His shoulders.
Yeah, shoulders.
He didn't have a shirt on when he was doing his duty?
Oh, he had a shirt on. Anyway, it's just weird. It's wacky. It's a wacky game.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, and it's interesting because Jill Grote, friend of the show, has been playing this game as well. And she actually is the one that told me about it. And then I started playing it. And she just said, like, it'll be interesting to see if this game does well with younger audiences who may not have grown up with Monty Python.
Is it PC only?
No, it's on everything.
Really?
Yeah.
Huh.
I'm pretty sure it's on, it was on the Switch. I think it's on Xbox too.
Because I was watching you stream last night. I didn't chime in, but I enjoyed watching you play. I don't really remember much of it because it was, it was past Phil time and Phil had been home. And, so my memories are foggy. I just remember getting a couple of good chuckles going. This looks like a fun game.
Yeah, it's wacky. It's a wacky game. My big complaint for it is one, there's no map. So there's a lot of times where you have to go find, like somebody says, hey, thank goodness you're here. I need to find blah, 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 blah. And you can find it in this grocery store or whatever. So then you have to find this grocery store. Well, like, I was like, where was that again? Where did I have to go for that? And then every character you run into says, thank goodness you're here. I need this, right? So you might be on one quest to find something, but then somebody else gives you something else. There's no quest log. So there's no way for you to know, like, oh, like, what am I supposed to get for this one person? You just hope that you run into that person again.
Oh, wow.
And he's like, hey, I'm still waiting for you to get the screwdriver, for instance. And I was like, oh, that's right. I was trying to find a screwdriver. I guess, in real life, there's no quest logs. So I guess you just have to go back to those people and say, what were you looking for? What did you need from me?
Bullshit. I carry a notebook.
That's true. That is actually a true statement. You do. So I don't know. So there's mechanics that it could have been more gamified, I guess, to make it a better experience. But also, it's just a weird game. That is the experience. So, Anyway,
give him a second.
Oh, you're still here at least.
Yeah, I'm good.
This is where we talk trash
Alexa?
about Roger.
what time is it?
Roger, your face is frozen.
There he is.
Hey, there I am. I'm back. Nope.
We can hear
hey,
you.
I'm back.
Hey,
I'm back. So, anyway, that's.
Mike and I just sat here and stared at each other like, we lost.
I know that was weird. I don't know what happened there. So that is. I know what that is. It's I'm not getting into it. That game is. Thank goodness you're here. So, and those are the games I've been playing. Before we wrap up, why don't we tell people how they can get a hold of us? Mike, how can people find you?
You can find me on Twitter at PezManMike. Oh wait,
And
it's Pez
Phil?
Guy Mike. It's Pez Guy Mike. It's
Pez Guy.
Pez Guy Mike.
But if you want to find him on Xbox,
Phil, how can people find you?
You can find me on Twitter at BNow23.
And listeners, you can find us on Twitter at Gamerheads Pod. You can also find me at Nintendo Raj on Twitter. You can follow us on YouTube at youtube.com/GamerheadsPodcast. You can also go to our website at GamerheadsPodcast.com, where you can hear this show amongst our other shows. And you can follow us on Twitch, where I stream games at twitch.tv/GamerheadsPodcast. So I try to do those Wednesday nights. Although next week, I might be streaming more.
Oh.
More than games?
Same bad time.
No, more days.
Oh.
Yeah. I'll just stay tuned for that. So, all right. Well, Mike, thank you so much for joining us this week.
Thanks for having me.
And Phil, thank you so much for joining us this week.
I'm going to harken back to the always.
And listeners, thank you so much for giving us a listen. If you like what you hear, leave us a review. We want to hear what you have to say about the show. Until next week, everyone, stay safe and game on. Bye.
See ya.
Take care.